Good evening, everybody. My name is Bobbymoretti. I'm Surviving Sports Picks, SSP for short to some. I just want to come on real quick to try to explain a little something that might eventually click into a few. I'm just here to help, man. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm good at what I do, and I got a gift. And if you've been paying attention to me since sports has been down, about Viktor Hovland in golf, you'll get a general idea what I'm trying to talk about, what I'm talking about. Let me explain something real quick. There's no ego here, but I'm telling you right now, people are actually lucky that sports is down, because I'll tell you what, if you go back and look at all my work and what I win day to day and the playoffs that I've won and the championships that I've called, it's a no-brainer, man. I mean, the work is there. Obviously, you can't see it. It's on Patreon. Every one of my games that I've picked from late April of 19 to this moment right now is on there. If anybody went on my Patreon and went back and saw the stuff that I've done, the work that I've done in a little over a year before sports went black, and then lately with horses and golf, there's just not too many better. And I say that, excuse me, with all humility. I told you, I'm just a different animal, bro. And people just don't want to listen. I understand money's tight and there's no sports down, so I don't blame anybody for not going over and signing up for my Patreon. Because I got only one tier going right now with horses and golf, and I'm winning with just those two sports alone, which means that it wouldn't waste your time to go over and sign up. But when sports is on, if it ever comes back, which I have no idea if it is, I highly doubt it's coming back anytime soon. So you know this ain't a sales pitch, but I'm just trying to tell you that I am flat out an old New York street smart capper, period. Pad and pencil, bifocals, and do-rag. Okay, there's no bells and whistles here. There's nothing, but there's not many better. I played at a high level. I had a shot. I've discussed this. I told you about my upbringing in New York with my old man with sports. It's just in the blood. Okay, I've given an example lately, and I'm not a prodigy by any means, but if you ever turned on 60 Minutes and watched a prodigy child sitting at a piano, whether it was a guy, a gal, or a young fella, and take Mike Wallace, for example, as the interviewer, and he asked the kid the question, and you just see the kid at the piano with the fingers going, and he's playing his notes, and he just looks up at Mike Wallace and says, "I just can't explain it to you. It just comes to me." This is what I'm trying to tell you without an ego about sports capping. Okay, it is a gift that others could be on trying to be a capper and sell their product, and they just don't have what I got. It's just that flat. It's just that flat out simple, and period. And I'm going to tell you, it's just that way. That's just the way it is, brother. Okay, I've told you for the last 4 weeks that Viktor Hovland is going to be a great one. Okay, just take a look at where he is right now. That doesn't mean that he's going to win this tournament. Okay, Morikawa certainly is leading, and he certainly can win, because he's going to be a great one too. But you have to understand what goes on day to day in these leagues. Do you know that Morikawa and Hovland and Wolf were teammates at Oklahoma State? I told you flat out that not only is Viktor Hovland the first Norwegian ever to play on the PGA Tour, but I told you you're going to hear from this guy. And the last 4 weeks, you could slowly but surely see what tremendous golf he has literally been playing. Okay? And he's right in the mix this weekend for what I call an initiation tournament to Jack Nicklaus's course. To Jack Nicklaus, it's his course in Ohio. They're playing 2 weekends in a row there. Okay, so this means something if you know what you're looking at and what this is all about. Okay, what it's all about, sports capping, what goes on in the world. I'm not going to get into it deep, but it's plain to see. Okay, it's plain to see. This tournament is an initiation tournament for young and upcoming guys that are going to go on to do well and win majors. And that's what this is. And Morikawa and Hovland are two of those guys. Okay? So my point is, I've won. I said the other day on another format, social media format, golf, I've been saying this, but golf is a needle in a haystack. But the one thing good about golf is there's tremendous odds pre-tournament. I picked Webb Simpson 2 weeks ago, Wednesday night, when I post out of respect for my guys with early tee times on Thursday. I posted my golf, and I had Webb Simpson plus 3,500. So you figure out what I won. Now, my point is, it is a needle in a haystack, but there's other plays in golf. But that's good. That's good odds plus 3,500. But it's a needle in a haystack. But going forward in these tournaments, there's tremendous odds in top 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s, 5s, and then there also is individual match plays, and you could play individual match plays throughout the weekend. And this is what I'm trying to tell you about golf being a needle in a haystack, but there's money to be made. People get scared off. They think it's impossible. And it's the same way with horses. You could play, I play all day sitting on the couch with the air conditioner on, watching the fake news with the real game, which is which is what's going on in our world today. Okay? The world game is the most important game with what's going on. Okay? But my point is, you could simply sit there and play horses. You can nickel and dime it. I told you, traditional win, place, and show bet, to keep it simple to those who are looking at it for the first time. And yes, it does look confusing. But the point is, you could bet $4 a race, you see? And I'm plucking these horses like dandelions. I've won over 100 win, place, and show bets. Saturday was 3 weeks, okay? 3 weeks. I mean, if you go on my Patreon, I won money in 10 out of 11 of my race picks today. I won I won 6 win, place, and shows, and 4 place and shows and or a show. Now, those over 100 don't even include in 3 weeks place and shows. So, with sports being down, we're all in a tough spot, but the point is, there's money still to be made. You just gotta listen to what I'm trying to tell you. But hey, listen, there's other guys out there, and if you feel that you can go about it by yourself, that's awesome, bro. You don't need me. You know what I'm trying to say? But a gambler is always looking for an edge, and so am I. And between a $5, $10, $15 and $20 investment on my Patreon, it's an investment. It's not gambling, it's an investment. If you go back and look at all my work, I play at 60 to 65%, more so 65%. I've told you this. If one is playing between 60 and 65%, they're not just winning money, they're winning good money, and I am. So anyway, I was compelled to come on tonight. I had to come on, and I got to tell you that you're missing the boat, bro. You're missing the boat. I understand money's tight. God forbid sports was on full time. I'd be dynamite. I'd be rolling. I'd have so much content your head would spin. Okay? Because the work is already there. It's already proven. So I'm not talking shit here. I'm telling you the truth. So anyway, I'll continue to buy time till sports comes back. If and when it does. But if anybody's interested, go over to my Patreon, Google Surviving Sports Picks. Get on there, man. I'm plucking horses like dandelions, and I'm doing well in golf. The thing I was going to say a minute ago is, I said the other day I'm 4 out of 6 in my last 2 weekends on match plays. It's actually 4 out of 5. I tied one. I made a mistake. Okay? And the one mistake that I made was Finau, who hadn't been playing well. Tony Finau hadn't been playing well the last 3 weeks up until last weekend, and he played well for the first 3 rounds last weekend. I had him in my top 10, I think, or whatever it was, and I took him on Sunday in a match play, and he got beat. But that's the way the ball falls sometimes, and I'm not worried about it. But that's the only loss I got, other than 1 tie and 4 wins, 4 out of 5. So, you know, and I had Webb Simpson. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. People could come on and they could say whatever they want. You're not going to get guys talking about the shit that I talk about with mid-majors and small schools and East bumfuck leagues out in the upper Midwest. And that's not to knock the Midwest, but they're just leagues that nobody talks about. The North Dakota states, and anybody from that area could vouch to what I'm talking about. Okay, the Akrons, the just teams from this year. There was going to be upsets, people, in that tournament this year. There was a lot of good mid-majors. Not only was Dayton going to the Final Four as a mid-major out of Ohio, but you had schools, I could name off tons of them. Northern Kentucky, Akron, Bowling Green, North Dakota State. I mean, on and on and on. Liberty, you know, all kinds of schools. The fruit is always there. You know, in all sports, you know, every given Sunday, there's between 1 and 3 games just laying there for the taking. You know what I mean? And every night in all the other sports, they're there. You just got to understand what you're doing. You got to pay attention day in and day out and into the playoffs to get a champion. So anyway, I'm going to cut this video short. My name is Bobbymoretti, Surviving Sports Picks, SSP for short to some. Check me out on my Patreon. Google Surviving Sports Picks. Grab a tier, get on, start winning some money. And when sports comes back, I guarantee you there's nobody better. Peace.